wow, if I had capital right now to be able to invest into cryptocurrency that I personally believe in, into these altcoins, and I believe in the technology of it as well. Like there's a ton of opportunity here. So I did my research. I've had past experience, right? I always tell people this: there's no such thing as a risky investment. It's a risky investor.
I like that.
Right. And so for me, I felt like I was educated in regards to what was been happening. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up taking a $30,000 policy loan. Right. So
you don't do anything halfway. You're like, I'm going to dip my toes with a 3,000. No. This is BetterWealth with Caleb Guilliams. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the BetterWealth podcast. I'm here with the and asset specialist himself, Dominic Rufran.
There you go.
I usually choke when it comes to your last name, and I'm the one that has the last name of Guilliams, which is everyone gets that wrong.
Well, in complete transparency, we actually were 2 minutes into this podcast right before this, and then we had an internet connection that failed, and he actually said it wrong before. So don't give him too much credit for it.
I thank you for calling me out on that. Nothing will hide. Anyways, welcome back to the show. We want to give you a case study. We're actually, Dom, you're going to walk through a personal case study of how you've used life insurance. You use controlled compounding, a life insurance loan, taken advantage of that, and as a result, have profited quite greatly, or have the ability to profit. And I want to set this up at BetterWealth. Our whole metric is intentional living. We want to unlock intentional living by helping people take back control of their money, be efficient, and learn other things as it relates to using money as a tool. Okay, and I always ask this: what is the value of controlling capital? For most people in America, for most people in general, control is a negative thing because it's tied to spending money that they don't have, buying dumb stuff, and at the end of the day, you have control, you have liquidity, you're worse off because you make bad decisions. So this is not for the average person watching this, because majority of average people don't watch financial people talk on YouTube. So you're just by you watching this means there's something different about you in general. So that's number one, is what is the value of controlling money, and is that valuable to you? If you're somebody that checks the box saying, I value control because of X, Y, or Z, or because of fulfillment, listen up, because Dom, you're an example of utilizing your and asset, utilizing your whole life insurance and using it as an and asset and setting yourself up to do some pretty cool things. And so with me stealing all your thunder while introducing you, why don't you just walk us through what kind of policy you have and how this got set up, actually the nuts and bolts, and how you actually got the money and what you did with that.
Yeah. So first and foremost, this is not a financial advice in any way.
Yeah. Don't sue us, please.
And I'm not advising or even suggesting that you should go and do this. This is personal, anecdotal. Like this has actually personally happened to me. I've came on here before and said things of how I've lost 20K doing dumb stuff. And so now here's a personal story.
Dom's risk tolerance on both ends. Like it's true. You could lose 20K and you would be totally fine. Like I wouldn't even know. Yeah. I lose like $10 and I'm like, I'm fine, but I'm upset. Like I'm mad. I'm just like frustrated. And so just know this is not financial advice. I think Dom's a little bit crazy, but you can understand, like whatever his scenario is, just switch it out for what you're uniquely good at, and you'll understand that the math gets pretty good.
Yeah, amazing. So coming back full circle of 2017, all right. 2017 was kind of the jumpstart of my career, where I really wasn't making a ton of money at the time, right? Yep. But that's kind of where it jump started, to where I was like started making my first income. The first time I ever heard about Bitcoin, right, was back in 2014, and I was like, I kind of just brushed it off, and I was like, I don't have any money anyways, because I was a broke college student at the time.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, it's like no big deal. Like I couldn't even invest into it even if I wanted to. So fast forward 3 years, 2017 comes around, and all of a sudden I hear this craze about these things called altcoins. And I'm like, what are these altcoins? And I hear that people are making 100% returns in a day. And, CNBC's talking about it. And there's so many people that are hyping the craze about it. So I started looking into it, and my father-in-law is talking about it. I mean, I wasn't married at the time, but he was like, so older people were talking about crypto and Bitcoin. So I knew something was going on. And so I started, doing research, looking into it. And, I decided to put my toes in the water.
And what year is this?
This is 2017.
This is 2017. Did you have a policy at this point?
Nope, I didn't have a policy at this point. This is me just now starting, because I started the life insurance career right around 2017.
Okay.
So this is all kind of like the same timing of things. And I actually, right after that, started an IUL policy that lapsed and I don't have anymore anyways. But that's a whole nother story for another day that maybe we could talk about on the show.
We should talk about IUL on the show sometime.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
That'd be great. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I didn't have a ton of money, but the money that I did have at the time, I put it into the crypto, and which is, I think it was like December of 2017. And literally January of 2017, the entire market crashed. Like in days, it went from it dropped 80%. So, and I didn't put a ton of money because I didn't have a ton of money.
Yeah.
I think I had maybe $1,000 to $2,000.
But it tainted you.
But it tanked, and it just the whole thing just crashed. And I was just like, wow, it kind of just rocked my world. And so that was my first hard knocks lessons of just money and the kind of risky investments and the volatility of things. But the thing about it is I believed in crypto from a standpoint of I kind of see this as the next generational thing of kind of the internet.
Yeah.
It's a ton of people back in 2000 were kind of knocking all these companies, right? And then the dot-com boom happened, and then so on and so forth. So I was like, I believe in this. I know it's going to be a big thing. I don't know when it's going to take off. I don't have any money anyway, so on and so forth. So fast forward a few years, which is essentially this year, which is 2021. Well, I guess I actually fast forward a good couple of years. I ended up getting a policy.
Okay.
Right? I ended up meeting you. You end up, educating me,
opening your eyes,
opening my eyes to the world. I ended up getting a policy. So I ended up funding the policy, and up to this point, back in 2021, I've had the policy now for a few years.
Okay.
Right. So I have cash in the policy. At this point, I really don't need it for anything because I'm doing what I love.
Yep.
Right. My kind of quote unquote big thing for my quote unquote retirement or my positive cash flow, passive income is BetterWealth. Right.
Yep.
I'm fully invested into it.
Yep.
And so the money that I have in my policy is essentially been sitting there for a couple of years and hasn't really been doing a ton for me from an activity standpoint. Obviously, it's growing. It's, has a death benefit, which is great. So all of a sudden, I start talking to my brother, and we're talking about GME and things like that. And GME kind of takes off, and we have a little bit of money just sitting in the bank account, put it in GME, and just and from that moment on, I started thinking what have I been missing as of late? Because I've just been so focused on business. And so I just start, looking into news, looking into what's out there. And I'm like, I have not looked at crypto in a while, since 2017, because of what ended up happening. But I know it's a thing that I believe in. But, kind of hear about Bitcoin, et cetera. I've never invested in Bitcoin, but even back in 2017. So I start looking into it, and I'm like, wow, this same cycle has happened 2013 to 2017, and now it's happening again in 2017 to 2021. And I'm seeing I'm earlier in the cycle than I was back in 2021. And I'm like, wow, if I had capital right now to be able to invest into cryptocurrency that I personally believe in, into these altcoins, and I believe in the technology of as well, there's a ton of opportunity here. So I did my research. I've had past experience, right? I always tell people this: there's no such thing as a risky investment. It's a risky investor.
I like that.
Right. And so for me, I felt like I was educated in regards to what was been happening.
Yep.
And so what I ended up doing was I ended up taking a $30,000 policy loan. Right. So
you don't do anything halfway. You're like, I'm going to dip my toes with a 3,000. No, it's 30K. Let's go.
I take a full 30K policy loan. I ended up getting the money within, I think it was 10 days or something like that. I take it and I throw it all into crypto, and it's a variety of different coins, right? Essentially the first month, things kind of stay consolidated, et cetera. They don't do a whole lot, actually kind of lose some money, which is fine, but because I believed in where it was going, it's no big deal. Over the last 16 days, and I'm not joking you, 16 days to be exact, I have profited and made a total of $42,000 because of what has happened over just the last, what is this, April? Over just the month of April, things have been crazy in the crypto space. So ultimately, take a $30,000 policy loan. It's at 5% interest. And the beautiful part about it is I really don't have to pay that policy interest back if I choose not to ever, first and foremost. But second, if I choose to pay it, it could be at the end of the year because that's when the interest would be calculated. And so for me, I have this philosophy and idea around that the cryptocurrency space is going to tank maybe towards the end of the year. So I have this whole idea of, hey, I'm keeping my money in here for the next, 3 to 6 months, essentially. I'm going to sell, take the profits, pay my policy loan back, pay the interest back, and I've profited. Now I can take the profits from my crypto and I can go do a few things. I can go start another policy if I choose to. If I choose not to do that, I can then go put it into some syndication deals, some LP deals where I can get some passive cash flow. And at the same time, I still have my policy that's still getting me, close to 4%, that's working for me at the same time. So I'm having my dollars do multiple things, velocity of money, and it's all because of something that I believe in, and where, I'm getting 150% return in 16 days.
It's the value of control. You took control, you did your research, whatever, and you took $1 and doubled it. Yep. That's awesome, man. Here's the cool thing is, life insurance. Life insurance is not this like amazing, sexy investment that you can do. It's that thing that's being present, that's allowing this to happen. But here's the cool thing, whether you crush it or whether you lose it all, life insurance is valuable because, worst case scenario, let's just say crypto gets banned, the worst day of your life kind of deal, and it all goes away. Well, it's, if your money was in cash and you put your money in crypto, it's just gone. You have an asset that's still working for you. You can choose to lapse your policy. It's not the end of the world. You're not going to, it's not the end of the world. Or you can work yourself back, make money from somewhere else, already have a place to put it. And it's not like you have to start over on compound interest. So it's like, I want people to know that the and asset doesn't necessarily it's not like that flashy asset. But whether good or bad, I really believe it enhances and gives you opportunities to better your decision making. And also, you're not going to take a 5% loan to make 6. It's just it helps you be a better business or investor, because it really is this is actually costing me money, and everything costs us money. But we think money in a savings account doesn't cost us anything because there's no opportunity cost there. But it does cost us through the definition of opportunity cost. So anything that you want to add, I feel like I need to say this disclaimer again. Don't take a policy loan and put it into crypto.
Don't do that.
Unless you do the research and you're can you understand the upside, you understand the downside, and you're okay with losing the downside. I'm saying there are people here that have business ideas. There are people here that have investment ideas. There's people here that want to invest in other people. And I'm telling you, have control of your capital so you can live life and do that. And so, Dom, your story is really fun and it's exciting, and I see you come alive. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen this next 10, 15, 20 years. Imagine the wealth and opportunity that's going to happen through this mindset.
Yeah, 100%. And what we'll do is, whenever I do sell or whatever what happens, we'll make another segment on what actually happened at the end result. And the actual realized gains, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll be cool to play this back and be like, yeah, this is what happened.
And when altcoin gets banned, and just think about Dom, right? But we will make it for better or worse. And I promise you, Dom is literally chill. You have what it takes to take risk, because there's some people that freak out if there's any volatility, and if it's not swinging 100% both ways, you're like, that's child's play,
It's a good play. It's a good place to end it.
Okay. Anyways, guys, this is the BetterWealth YouTube channel. We exist to make videos to encourage you to take back control, live more intentionally. We have videos, obviously, on investing, life insurance. We want to start documenting the journey of building better wealth. And so, if that at all interests you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay up to date, because we have a lot of fun content to come.
Boom.
Thank you so much for listening to the BetterWealth podcast. It would mean the world to me if you could hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with the people that you know and love.